Hi everyone, in today's episode I really want to talk about cardio myths and I want to bust some myths about cardio. If you've ever felt like you were doing everything right, you were doing more cardio, you were eating less, and yet you didn't quite feel like you were hitting that fat loss goal that you wanted, or maybe you were feeling softer rather than leaner, then know that you really aren't alone in that feeling. While some people will say that we shouldn't do too much cardio, I am a runner and I always have been, and I would never stop somebody doing cardio if it was what they liked and there was benefit for them, because I think there are benefits to doing cardio and it's all about being strategic with it. So I've got 5 myths that I wanted to talk about, and hopefully that will help you have a bit more understanding about how to bring cardio into your workout plans and how to balance it. So myth number 1 is that by doing more cardio, you're going to have more fat loss. Now, yes, cardio can help with fat loss in the short term, because what it's doing is it's pushing our bodies into that higher intensity, higher heart rate zones, and therefore we're going to see a drop in the scale weight quicker by doing cardio, but it doesn't mean more fat loss in the long run. And what we want to think about is sustainability. And what can happen is, if we are doing regular cardio in a way, we are likely to hit a plateau. And that's because our body has got efficient, it's got effective at that fat burn in that core phase. And that's when we maybe want to change up the type of cardio we're doing, or change the goal and the reason why we're doing that cardio. So more does not equal more fat loss. Myth number 2 is about doing cardio fasted. And what we really want to think about is we want to fuel our body to be most efficient with cardio. And if we're doing it fasted, there is a risk that we are actually having a lower performance, because if we are hungry, then our body might not perform at the level that it can due to that fasted nature. And what we really want to think about is, we want to think about the whole day, and not just the whole day, the whole week when we think about these things. So what you want is, you want to think about your expenditure for that day, not just what you're expending in that one session first thing in the morning. You might go for a run and burn X calories on your watch, but actually that's not equating across the whole day. So fasted cardio does not always mean that there is a better performance. Myth number 3 is that cardio can be helpful for toning. Now, there's a distinction here. In order to build muscle, we have to build it. You don't tone muscle. So when we say we want to look more toned, what you really want is to build muscle. And cardio will not build muscle in the same way that strength training will. So cardio is good for our cardiovascular systems. It's good for our heart and all of those sorts of things, and increasing our VO2 max, so the amount of oxygen we have pumping around our body. But cardio is not going to build muscle in the same way as strength training does. So just something to think about. What terminology are you using, and what is your goal for cardio? The 4th myth I want to talk about is the fact that you have to do cardio every day. Now, you don't. And actually, by doing cardio every day, it can actually lead to a higher risk of injury. Because if we're working out every single day, we have a lower recovery time. And as I said earlier in this, as well as just everything in life, the more we do is not always better. It's about quality over quantity. You could go for a run every single day, or you could run 3 times a week. Those 3 runs are likely to be a better performance and better quality than running every single day. Because if we do more, we can lead to burnout, and that can have a higher negative impact on our bodies than just being strategic in the sessions that you do. So what you really want to think about is, whatever cardio is your thing, running, cycling, swimming, HIIT classes, whatever it is, balance that across the week to give yourself the most optimum recovery time and balance that strategically with strength training as well. So just want to think about those things together. And myth number 5 is about sweating. And if you don't sweat, it doesn't count. Now, again, that's not the way our bodies work. Sweat is actually a way of our body regulating its body temperature. So just because you're sweating more does not, again, it comes down to quality over quantity, does not mean that it's necessarily a quality workout. Our progress and our success and what we are doing to achieve our goals is not measured by how sweaty we have got. So I really want to bust that one out, because sweating is not a key metric that we want to be focusing on. We want to be focusing on increased performance, how we're actually progressing, time on splits, and generally how we feel. Not every cardio session, the same as not every strength training session, will be good. There are just some days where we're more tired, we're more hungry. It's our time of the month. There are multiple factors that can impact our performance, but we need to try and control them so that we are performing the best we can in the scenario that we're in. So considering busting all of those myths, just want to give you a quick balanced approach to cardio. So number 1 is to think about balancing with strength training. So we need to strength train in order to build muscle for longevity and actually to achieve your fat loss goals. If you're not strength training, there's only so much you're going to be able to achieve without incorporating some of that. So really, really focus a priority on, can you get 2 or 3, 4 if you can, strength training sessions in every single week, balanced with your cardio. So second point in this balanced approach is be strategic in your cardio. Whether you're a runner, a cyclist, a swimmer, like I say, if you prefer those classes, balance that with your strength training and be strategic in what it is you're trying to achieve. I've just been doing more cardio and more running because I was training for a half marathon. I'm now not training for a half marathon. I'm not going to do as much cardio and as many runs as I was, because I'm now being more strategic back the other way. So think about balancing the two together. And be strategic in cardio. If you know you're going to have a really, really busy day at work, pick a lower intensity activity. Or can you go for a really long walk on a rest day at the weekend? Be tactical in how you plan your week. To support that as well, number 3 is daily movement. The best cardio form we can have, guys, is just steps. Just get out and get moving. We all can be quite sedentary at times. We sit at a desk, we sit in front of the telly. Can we get up and move? Increasing that non-intense workout, so just getting out for more steps, can have such a big impact on your overall expenditure and your energy levels across the whole week, and can be the biggest game changer when it comes to fat loss. And then finally, as the saying goes, you can't out-train a bad diet. We need to focus on nutrition as well. Nutrition encompasses all of this together. We need to be fueling right, having the right diet to support the cardio and other activities that we do to bring it all together. So just to bust those myths again, you don't need more cardio to get more fat loss. You will potentially hit a plateau. Fasted cardio is not necessarily necessary. Think about it as a whole day or a whole week, not just what you're burning in one session. You can't tone from doing cardio. We need to build muscle. That's where the strength training comes in. You do not need to do cardio every single day unless it is just your daily movement, your daily steps. More is not always better. It can lead to lower recovery, more injuries. And finally, we are not measured on how much we sweat. Sweating is not a key metric, and we want to be focusing on our performance, not how much we're sweating or how much our watch tells us that we've burned. So hopefully that's a good little snapshot on cardio. I am a fan of doing cardio in the right way. It helps you in other ways rather than just from a fat loss perspective. There are lots of mental health benefits to doing cardio as well. So be strategic in what you're doing and do something that you enjoy, but balance it across the week and balance it with the other supporting mechanisms around strength training, daily movement, and nutrition. Hope that's really useful, guys. I will catch you on the next one very soon. Bye.